and welcome back to our Seasons from Scratch series here on Felsborough. We're heading down to the shop in our Mercedes today because after a good long while of sort of holding our breath a little bit, the soybeans have germinated. Yeah, we have not lost the soybeans, so despite having planted them way too early, the soybeans have actually germinated. So what I'm going to be doing today is that we've discovered this MB track here can have on it a set of care wheels like that, which is fantastic. So we actually got a choice of various care wheels on here, which are quite cool. I'm actually going to go for these narrow tires for 1,000. I really like the look of these, and it works well. So we're going to add those on and take that. So customize that. And then to go with this, we want to get a new. We want to get a sprayer. We need something to be able to spray with. Now we need something that isn't too heavy for this. I think actually we might be able to put a front tank on this. If we can, I think we might go with the Kuhn sprayer setup. Alternatively, we could get a trailed sprayer, which might be a better choice. Let's have a look. So how much horsepower we got in our little MB track here? So we've got 125 horsepower. If we head over to the crop protection here, this requires, doesn't give the requirements for it, but we haven't really used any of these before. So I'm very tempted to get one of these. The only downside is we only have 15,000. So there's not a sprayer we can actually buy. To lease this would be £4,000 though. But I don't think we've really borrowed much money yet either yet. Let's have a look. Oh, we have. Yeah, we have. So we are going to have to loan a sprayer. I think our best bet to keep the costs down, as much as I would like to grab the Metris, I think that we're going to have to go with the Deltas just for now to keep the cost down. 1,500, so we will lease that. We're not going to be using very much, but there it is. We're not going to get the front tank, so it will take a little bit more to fill up. So let's deactivate that and get this. Now, I'm hoping that our weights on the front of this are enough to work with this. We shall find that out very shortly. Hook that up. I think that we need to hook our... Nope, nothing else to hook up on this. Surprised there aren't some pipes on this. Lift that up, and that is just a tad back heavy. We are in a little bit of trouble here. So, what I'm going to do is we are going to lower this back down. Because that is like that already. That's before we've got any spray in it at all. So we're going to change out the front of this, get a 3-point linkage on the front of this. And I think to hire the front tank is not going to be that expensive compared to getting some weights. So let's customize this. On the front attachment, we want the front hydraulic. I don't think it has any... no, it doesn't have a PTO on the front, but that should be fine. Yeah, we'll put the front hydraulic on there. That should do the job. That is... Oh, wow. That is a fairly expensive upgrade, though, but it's the only way that we're going to be able to do this properly. So that's the front hydraulic on there. Now, if we have a look in here... To rent this is 408. That is going to be cheaper than buying a weight. And I realise how crazy that sounds. But we're going to do that anyway. Oh no, I bought it by mistake. That was a massive mistake. Oh, that is not great. We could actually, there's something that people have asked me to demonstrate. Something people asked me to have a look at. We're going to do that quickly. Which is... and this is a base game thing. People have been suggesting to me that it's a seasons thing, but it is a base game thing. So we have just bought this for 8,000. We don't want it. We want to lease it instead. So what we're going to do is going to hook that up, lift it up, and take this back over here and drop it into the sell point. Because, yeah, I keep getting told by people that if you don't use something, if you basically sell it almost as soon as you get it, you get the money back, which is true. We can sell this for 8,000. So there you go. If you buy something and you don't use it, and you want to get rid of it, and you want to get the price back immediately or without having any hours on it, you can do it by doing that. Just take it back to the shop and sell it. And you can immediately get it back. So we have got our new front bit over here. So we'll hook this up. And then we'll hook the sprayer up. And we need to go and fill this with some fertilizer. So there we go. Now, of course, this being a Seasons Let's Play, this is... or a Seasons... Seasons Let's Play. What we have to do is we do have to fertilize 3 times. Oh, let's attach the PTO. Lift that up. And you can see we do still have quite a bit of weight on the back. But hopefully, with the tank on the front, that should be evened out a bit. Because we're not really got any weight on the front at the moment. We are going to have extra weight on the back still. But hopefully, this should all even out a bit. I'm kind of hoping, and if somebody does know where I can get one of these, I would really like a rear-mounted sprayer for this. One that goes on the bed at the back of this. That would be really cool. That would work really, really well. Right, so we're going to fill this up first with liquid fertilizer. There we go. That is the front. And then select the back. And fill that as well. That has not unfolded. We should be able to unfold that actually. Let me try and do... Whoa. No. There is a way to open up these tanks. And I can't remember what it is. We are going to have to do that though in order to do it. Let's see. F1. Unfold sprayer should be X, but that is unfolding the main thing. Start filling. There we go. Liquid fertilizer. Start filling that. No, that is the front one. Open cover. There we go. N. That does it. You saw that fold out at the side. Then we refill that. And we've got liquid fertilizer. Perfect. And you can see actually that we're a lot better balanced now on our tractor. So we're going to leave this field till last. We're going to head out and we're going to spray our soybeans first and get those finished off. But I quite like this setup on this little spray, on this little MB track. It works quite well. As I said though, I'd quite like a tank or a sprayer that's mounted on the back of this. I think that would work much better. So out and round, and we'll head out to our fields. So we're going to start with our furthest field away from the farm. That is field 26. It's just around the corner here. So we'll indicate and head down here. And then almost immediately pull off. And head up here. Now unfortunately we don't have GPS on here. It wouldn't be an easy thing to get on a tractor like this. And I want to try and keep it that way in so far as you'd have like that. Now that was interesting in that with the arms coming up and out, a lot of the weight suddenly went forward on the tractor. Which is, yeah, so there's a lot of weight in the arms on this. But that was an interesting thing to happen. So I'll line this up, and fortunately we can actually see the ground here. So this should be an easier one to sort of keep track of. We're moving at a decent speed, and I think we've got a decent amount of fertilizer in here to get this done. So this should be the last stage of fertilization. We actually got, I think our seeder must have fertilizer in it as well, if I remember correctly. So we tend to get that done fairly quickly. And should means things are fairly easy, but as I said, it's I think it's 3 stages of fertilization in this, so we may find that we have one more stage of fertilization to do, but it is working nicely. We're going around pretty well, so I'm gonna knock this field out and we'll see how much fertilizer we have left. hopefully we're not going to have to do a massive refill in order to get this, to get all of these fields done. I'm hoping that these are going to do them all themselves pretty well. Second to last row, and it's really quite encouraging. We are at 90% in our fertilizer that is left. I'm quite pleased with that. This is our smallest field, admittedly, but our other two fields are not much bigger, so it's not a huge worry. And what this does mean is that we should be able to get the money back for this spray rather easily, because what I'll do is the fields we've got here. What we're going to have with the rest of the summer is likely to be several contracts that require spraying, which will allow us to bump our money back up by doing those, and as a result will easily allow us to cover the cost of this fertilizer. And I think that is an important thing to do when you're doing start from scratch with seasons, is that any downtime you have isn't downtime. It's time to use to earn money contracting. Even when you're playing it like 15 times like this, there is downtime. And so what you want to do is you want to get those contracts done. You want to get those contracts working, because if you don't, what you're going to find is you're going to run out of money fairly quickly. And it's something that we actually found a little bit during our other Start From Scratch series, the one on the Old Farm Countryside, which we're not running seasons on. And because we're not doing that, I found actually I've run out of money because the contracts haven't been something that I've had my eye on and my concentration on. So yeah, it's been hit hard, that series, because of that. What we want to do probably after this first year is, rather than looking to buy another field, I think we're going to try and pay off as much of our loan as we can after our first year's harvest. We are going to be basically harvesting anything and everything that we can get our hands on here, and getting as many harvesting contracts done as well as our own fields, because yeah, those are going to be pretty invaluable to us to get done. This field here of soybeans, we have had one small patch in the middle of the field, you can see right there, that's failed to germinate. Otherwise, this crop is doing really well and really nicely. I'm so pleased that our soybeans have actually germinated, and that the ground and the weather didn't get too cold. It spent the entirety of spring sort of sitting here waiting to germinate. So the fact that they have is a massive relief to me. It would have been really, really bad for it not to. In fact, we've got a small patch there that's failed to germinate as well. But yeah, it's good. So yeah, let's get this field sprayed, and then we can head over and we can do our sole field of canola and get that done as well. So we're coming to the end of the second to last row, and I am impressed with how this MB track has been running. Really impressed with how this MB track's running this. It's handled this sprayer really, really well. It's worked very nicely. We should be able to pay for this sprayer, as I was saying, just by doing contracts, and we may get a contract or two done. It's only sort of midday here on in game, which is very, very good news. What I do want to do, though, between us getting all of our fields sprayed and the contracts done, is we need to check on our chickens. We need to check that the chickens are all right. I don't want to lose any chickens or anything. We do have a healthy number of eggs now being produced, which is great news. I'm hoping over the summer months that the chickens will produce. I can't remember exactly when the chickens produce eggs in seasons, but I probably should check on that a little bit more. But I'm quite pleased to see that egg production does seem to be going up, which is very good news. Right, that has finished. That is done. And we are going to head back to our farm so that we can get our last field done now, which is a field of canola. And there's one question that I think people are likely going to ask, especially when it comes to harvest time. So I'm gonna sort of preempt it and address it now, and that kind of is we've got 2 fields of soybeans, we've got 1 field of canola, and we have chickens. And so the question very much is, if I'm doing chickens, why haven't I planted a field of wheat? And the reason for that is work. We're trying to not to make too much work for ourselves, and in order to make enough money with wheat, what we'd have to do is we would have to bale. We'd have to bale the straw from the wheat, and I'm trying to avoid doing that at the moment. Combine we're going to get is probably not going to be a particularly big one, especially if we get one of the really old ones that won't have a chopper on it, and so yeah, we're looking to kind of not have to bale up straw on this, because obviously a baler will cost us money to do. Maybe something for the second year, but certainly not something for the first. It's looking rather dry there, to be honest. Yeah, that's slightly worrying that that's that dry when we've got all of this in here. There's nothing I have to turn on or anything for that, is there? Yeah, start filling. There we go. Oh, that's quite cool. There we are. Oh, I like that. So yeah, it's a manual fill that you have to do with the water. That's absolutely brilliant. It means we can return the Joskin trailer now. But yeah, that's really cool. I'm absolutely loving that. We'll see to the rest of our chickens, as I said, in a minute. We need to get these done. We have a row of... What's that? What is that? Do we have a Wopster? I think we have a Wopster, don't we? No, we don't. I think we need to buy one quickly then. Misk. An MT9. Ooh, wow. That is 5,000. I think we might have to wait for that. Yeah, fruit type canola. Don't know what that is that we've got a line of growing in the field there. I'll have to check the bit in a minute. I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comments what you think that is, but that certainly is not canola. But we have a field here that we can get sprayed and get up to the next level of fertilization, which is absolutely fantastic. And we'll get a job done for us. And then we're in a pretty good place as far as that goes. I still want to... We do have a trailer we can use for carting, which is basically our bale trailer. The one we got that we were using to cart up the seeds before. What I think I'm going to do is I might get another trailer, or I might just see how we are. But I kind of want to get a dedicated trailer for carting. Now this field is a little bit more mature than our soybeans are, and you can see here that we've got a spot where we've got some weeds, so we're going to have to deal with them at some point. But B, we also have a sort of a scar here on the field where some of the crop has failed. So yeah, that is one of the things I like about Seasons. Seasons does do this thing that's very realistic in that case, where you get weeds growing in various patches on the field, and you do get this wonderful bit where you get small areas that fail because the crop hasn't been able to survive, which is a normal thing. It's a very normal thing in farming, and so brings that extra little bit of realism along again, which I love. And it's one of the reasons why I love this version of Seasons, because it really does up the level of the whole thing just that little bit further. Coming up to the end of the second to last row, and we're gonna just whip around. We should have enough overlap here. Oof, that's tight. I'm not sure that we're gonna... I think we've got a little bit wonky somewhere because we've not got enough. I thought that was the end of the second. Yeah, we have. You can see here. So the end of the field up there, we went a little bit wonky. Didn't quite have enough space. So we're not going to have... we'll have to check the map in a minute. But I think we're going to have to head back up that top end of the field and just get a little bit more fertilizer on it, because we went a little bit wonky towards the end of the previous row, and as a result we haven't quite covered it. And this field is a very exact size for this sprayer, so yeah, that little bit of wonkiness just meant that we missed out on a little bit up the top there, and we'll have a look at exactly how bad it is. But yeah, any overlap on this field just kind of throws the whole thing out. The other thing that I've discovered doing this field is building our farmyard where we have makes it a lot harder to turn the sprayer out. It doesn't quite turn around quite so easily. Right, let's take this back up the top end of the field. Before we go, we'll just give this a quick check and have a look. So that's all looking great. Field 18 is looking great. And field 31 is looking great, except for a patch down the side here and a patch up the top there. So we will get to the... I'm not too worried about the patch on the side here. Is that failed piece of crop. But yeah, this top corner, we just need to go and spray up here just to finish this off and make sure that we have the best coverage on this field that we can put on it. Which wastes a little bit of fertilizer, but not a massive amount. Like so. Right, so as promised now, with that field done, that is our 3 fields done. We still have 88% in our second tank, which is that our front tank or our rear tank? That is our rear tank, I think, if we have a look out the back window. Yeah. No, the rear tank is empty. Looks like the most of... Really? Oh, yeah, actually, yeah, you can see it on the front tank down there. The front tank is pretty much full. The rear tank is completely empty. So the capacity for this sprayer is all in the front tank, which I had not realised. Right, so we're going to have a quick look at our chickens and see if they need anything. So, looking at the animals, our chickens have no food at all and are completely unclean. So that means that we have got to, as rather a bit of an emergency, drop the tanks off this and switch over. Because yeah, that is not good news. So drop it down like so. Disconnect PTO, disconnect the sprayer. And then what we'll do is we'll just swing this round. Now, I'm not going to worry about taking the care wheels off this at the moment. Partly because I've got to go all the way around to the shop to do it. We haven't built a workshop yet because I've not felt the need. So we'll lower that down, disconnect that. I do like that this tractor has no front arms if you've not got anything on it. That is, to me, that is quite cool. Now, what we don't need here is, we actually don't need our front forks. What we need to do is hook up to this. And as we've discovered previously, all we do is we take this, and it is giving a little bit of rear weight. So I'm not going to fill this yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape with it. Oh, we could actually put this on the front now that we've got a 3-point linkage on there. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, so we're going to lower that down. And then do that. We want to open it up. We're going to open up, please. There we go. Drop it down a bit more and reverse up. Yeah, doing this with the front would actually be quite cool. Now we do have a little bit of a bump here, so we have to lower it as we reverse. But the nice thing about this is this clears it. We lift it up. Reverse back a little bit further. And just put it in. And this will all go in there. Right, we close it up. Bring that, and then what we'll do is we'll go and refill this so that we can give them a full load of food. And it doesn't actually matter if we end up with some wheat in here. It should be all fine. So underneath our buy anything, refill that with wheat. There we go. 700. That is so much cheaper than buying a thing full of wheat. You know, buying a pallet full of wheat, or a big bag full of wheat. And I wonder if the new pallet, there are some new pallet mods, and I kind of wonder if those allow you to buy bags of chicken feed as well. So open that up, and again, in it goes. And I do like how that just tips over the edge like that. That does just look really cool. Perfect. So that then should fill that up. I'm not sure if that's going to fill it right up. That should give them plenty to be going on with. So down to the last 10% of what we have in our little box. Yep, they've taken all of that, so bring that back up. Close it, and we'll go and park this up. That should be enough to keep them going for quite a while, I'd have thought. Yeah, so that's good. Our chickens are all sorted now. So the last thing I want to do before we go today is I just want to get us... Actually, we've got a perfect place to park this. I want to get us done on a contract, get us something that means that we make our money back for everything we've spent today, preferably. So I'm going to hook this back up to our sprayer and its front, and then we'll go and see what is available on our contracts. So that's the front tank done. Just a quick spin around. Grab the rear tank, or the rear sprayer, which now of course is nicely offset with the weight of the fertilizer in the front tank. Connect up our PTO, and let's have a look at what we have available contracts wise. So fertilizing is what we want to find. So 7,000 for field 14, 8,000 for field 16, 9,000 for field 6. So where is field 6 and how big is it? Field 8 is there. Field 6 is that one up there. Now considering that and that used up less than half, I think field 6 is probably fair game for the size. Looking at those, it's going to be a close one. The other one that we had was field 16, which is a close price as well. That's probably a bit closer to us as well. 14, 16 is there. So that again, that is probably bigger than what we have. Field 11 is tiny. Field 14, that must be really near us. Field 14, there it is. Field 14 is there. It is, yeah. Again, it's interesting, these field sizes. Ideally, I wanted something about the size of field 9, I think. But yeah, that kind of size. I keep jumping out. That kind of size, I don't think is going to pay us that much. So what we're going to do is we are going to take on field 22. There's a perfect choice. So I'll look at field 22 at the size of that. We should be able to do that with what we have. So let's go and pick that mission. It's 6,000. That should cover what we've spent. So we'll accept that contract. Nice close field to us. And will be a great way to round out today because it is 4:30 in game, and that should allow us to get it done fairly easily. We have done a contract on this field before, of course. It'd be good to have a road that sort of came in that way. Easiest way for us to do this is probably going to be to start at the far end up here and work our way back towards our farm. This is a slightly oddly shaped field. There we go. Little bit wider. Absolutely perfect. Oh, we didn't quite unfold that before trying to do that. And away we go. So we will get this field sprayed get our 6,000 from that. Should put us back. Well, it puts us back at sort of 10,000, I think it is. Or yeah, it should put us back to about 12,000. I can't remember how much we started this with. May have to look at our sheet to see what our starting amount was today. But yeah, quite pleased if this makes us back the money that we've spent. Should do. Absolutely should do. So we're down to the last sort of 30% of our fertilizer. We are in the last sort of third of the field as well. We're into sort of the odd triangular bit, and yeah, it's gone pretty well. I'm still not sure, especially that big field, that we'd have had enough fertilizer to do that. I think we're going to be down to sort of the last 10% or so in this field. So it's not too bad. I'm quite happy with sort of the 7,000-ish that we're going to be earning from this field. And as I said, it's going to bring us back up to roughly where we were when we started today. I need to go back and sort of double check. Oh, I managed to miss those trees, which is always a good thing. And yeah, to basically have got our fields fertilized and rented the equipment to do it and everything without spending any money, that is a really good situation to be in. I'm really quite happy with that. And we just need to really, when we use this, we just really kind of need to do that to make sure we offset it by doing a contract. And that way we will keep our money at a good level and keep ourselves earning nicely. I'm really pleased that the chickens are doing well. We've managed to avoid a disaster there by making sure they're fed. We would have lost chickens overnight had we not addressed that. So glad that's sorted, and also really pleased to see how the pump works. I really quite like that animal extension mod and how that works. It has done the job nicely. So that is good to see, and good to see that it also still requires some player interaction to use it, and it's not just a thing that does a thing that looks nice and keeps the water topped up. Contract on this field is finished, so we can turn this off, conserve a little bit. We've got 14% left, so we might have been able to do a bigger contract with this, but I'm quite happy with what we have been able to do. So let's get this back to the farm, and once we've done that, what we can do is just finish up for the day. It is 7:10 in game, so perfect time for us to finish off. I do like doing these at 15 times. It does mean that we get a full day's worth of stuff and jobs done per video. Next time, we might see if we can pick up a grass contract. There's quite a few grass fields here. It's the summer, so it'd be a good time to do that. If we do that, I will probably turn the multi-missions mod on, because grass missions in this, you kind of want to be able to do multiple missions, otherwise you're stuck for a day or two without it. Let's just collect that contract, because we haven't done that yet. So collect that, absolutely perfect, and we will check our finances for the day. So our finances for the day are that we are 2,458 down, unfortunately. But there we go. All that remains is for me to say thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. And for all the latest videos and live streams from Virtual Farmer, please subscribe to the channel and ring that bell. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.